Unbelievable drama. Defendant locked up for alcoholic energy drink confronts Judge O'Donnell. Caught drinking a 12% alcohol monster energy drink he knew was trouble. This defendant lands back in jail for 45 days, now facing Judge O'Donnell's judgment. With alcohol's grip as a global Scrooge in the spotlight, he begs for community control to avoid prison. Will Judge O'Donnell show leniency for this repeat offender or slam him with a harsher sentence? Tune in to this gripping legal drama to see if his plea holds up.
24-324, Salvatore D'Angelo, violation of community control, final hearing violation, self-reported on March 12th, consuming alcohol at least 4 times since your release from NeoCat, February 25, the last time being March 11. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Watson?
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court, in discussing this with my client, he is prepared to waive the final hearing this morning and enter a plea of guilty to the violation, Your Honor.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
What's your plea to that charge?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. Why are we back here again?
Sure, I had got out of NeoCap, and I went to a meeting, and I seen my old sponsor. He gave me a job, started working, was on the right track, and just wasn't thinking, just
Wasn't the point of
Yeah.
NeoCap
right.
to get you to start thinking differently than you've been thinking all these years?
Yeah, but my thinking was, it was just alcohol, and there wasn't anything else.
What does that mean?
And so
What does that mean?
that was just, that was my stupid thinking. I mean,
Why would you think that?
because I'm a drug addict, and I wasn't using drugs. I was only drinking, which I know drinking is, it leads to other issues and things, but I just figured, I wasn't thinking right, sir. I mean, I know it's embarrassing. I can't believe that this happened like this. I mean, I'm just disgusted with myself, and I already had missed like a year, of my son. I miss him so much, and I just can't. I'm embarrassed, to tell you the truth. Like,
Didn't we have this same
Right,
discussion
we did.
last July?
yes, we did.
And what has it gotten us? Where have we gotten since then?
It's got nowhere. It's got me back into the same old, same. That's why it's just, I still can't believe that this has happened like this. I'm just disgusted with myself, to tell you the truth. I mean, I really am. I had a job. Like I said, my sponsor gave me a chance, and I just went off to, I just figured what's a couple drinks to,
Now, where did that take place?
This took place at my house. I gotten a couple of those, I wasn't drinking to get drunk. I just had a couple of those.
Then why were you drinking?
To tell you the truth, sir, I mean, it takes, to help calm my nerves, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'm a nervous wreck, I figured, I got a painting job, and like my nerves are so shot that, to me, my thinking was, to help me calm down, maybe I should just drink one of these things, and that was
what thing?
these little alcohol things they're like these energy drinks with like 12% alcohol.
Jesus,
Yeah.
12% alcohol.
Yep.
I thought you said it was a low alcohol thing. Is that a low alcohol thing?
No, I didn't,
What energy drink?
they're the Monster energy drinks with alcohol in them. Like you can buy at the convenience store for like $2.
How would an energy drink calm your nerves? It seems like that would.
Well, the alcohol does.
Jump.
Yeah, the alcohol does. I mean, but that was just my excuse. I mean, I figured, yeah.
Well, you seem to, your prevailing attitude seems to be that, well, at least it's not heroin. Isn't that kind of how you played that off to
Well, I knew drinking wasn't. I knew I couldn't do it, and I knew it was going to be an issue. It's just, to tell you the truth, sir, I mean, it helped. I'm an alcoholic, and it helps my nerves, I guess. I mean,
what are you nervous about?
Just nervous about, well, when I was painting, I was nervous because my boss, I was screwing up because I was shaking so much, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to do a good job for him. I didn't, I knew he gave me a shot, and I know he understands the.
Why were you shaking?
I don't know.
Don't you think you better find out why?
Yeah, I was gonna actually in the process of going to the doctor.
What does that mean, in the process of going to the doctor?
Well, it was so quick that, I was only out for a couple weeks, and.
How long did you have this monster when you,
After
you got out?
After a week.
Where were you working?
I was working for Bristol Painting.
Okay, and that was your sponsor?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so on the way, did you finish work and you were on your way home?
Yeah.
Where'd you stop?
The convenience store in Wycliffe there.
Where, on Euclid Avenue?
Yep.
Okay. Why didn't you just call your sponsor instead? Say, I'm going to get a freaking Monster drink that's got 12% alcohol. Should I do that?
Well, I
shouldn't do that.
I was actually talking with him, and I was actually talking with him about my issue with the shaking and everything else. And my nerves were, I was nervous for. I don't know why. I mean, my heart starts beating. Maybe I have high blood pressure or something, but. I actually approached him about that, and he also said just go see a doctor. Why I didn't tell him? I should have called him and told him I was going to get something to drink? Well, sir, I didn't want to lose my job. So I figured, maybe,
That's some convoluted thinking. What good is it to have a sponsor?
Right. Yeah.
What good?
If you don't tell them the truth, it's no good at all.
What good was Neocap?
Well, if it doesn't work, then
Well, why didn't it work?
I didn't give.
How long did you spend at Neocap?
5 months.
5 months.
Yep.
What'd you do at Neocap?
I just did a lot of work. I mean, I wrote, a lot of class and everything else, a lot of role playing. The whole time at Neocap, I just didn't want to get in trouble for me to go to prison is what, because I know if you screw up at Neocap, then that's, what happens, so.
How do you know?
Because that's what they were all saying to me.
Who?
All the teachers and counselors and everything else. They said this is the last resort. So, instead of like, going there to learn things, I just went there not to get in trouble and try to just get through the program.
So that was a waste of time. So I'm going to get back to what I was saying a little bit ago, that your prevailing attitude since you got out of NeoCap, at least since you got out, probably well before that, was as long as you're not on the drugs, it's no big deal to be on the alcohol, right?
No, I was
Now you're telling me something different today, but that's not the vibe that you were giving off to the providers and to the probation officer. At least it's not heroin. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big, yeah, I mean. No, I understand alcohol is a big issue, and,
that's kind of head up your ass thinking is what that is.
Right, yeah.
Okay, because there was another guy here about 7 years ago who was a heroin addict, went to rehab, got off the heroin for a period of time, and figured be okay to start drinking because it's not a heroin.
Right.
Started drinking and drinking and drinking and getting drunk, and one night he got drunk. He got in his car and went to the Euclid Beach area and got some heroin and did it. Was driving on Route 2. There was a cop with somebody pulled over, and he hit the cop and killed him. And he's in prison. He thought, at least it ain't, it's only drinking, it's not heroin. That convoluted thinking has worked exactly 0 times in the history of the world. Now, what is it you want from me? Is the next word out of your mouth another chance? Is that what it is? I assume that's what it is because that's what everybody wants, okay? So another chance for what?
To just go back to work and just do,
You were already at work. You went back to work.
Right.
What good did that do you?
I guess I can just go, I just need to go see a doctor about my situation. I didn't want to.
What specific situation?
With my issue, like being nervous and like.
And how long has that condition existed?
For going on like 5 or 6 years now.
Okay, and how many times have you seen a doctor in those 5 or 6 years to deal with that?
Well, because I was in Vegas and everything else, so I had moved out here, and I moved out here 3 years ago, and I've been incarcerated. I was in the, treatment, when I first got out here. I haven't really been on the streets, sir, to get an answer for
Well,
it's my fault.
I can give you the correct answer. Correct answer is you didn't see a doctor in those 5 or 6 years because you didn't want to see a doctor.
Right, yeah.
You wanted a party.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So when you got out of NeoCap on February 25th, why didn't you make arrangements to go see a doctor? You said before you were in the process of it.
Yeah, because I was.
that doesn't mean anything. You're not in the process of anything.
No,
You're
because
either
I
gonna
went-
do it or not do it.
Right, I was in Signature Health, and I was actually, that was when, they had, I was at Signature Health trying to talk with the doctors, and they wanted to drug test me or whatnot.
And
then
you
I
left
knew-
before getting tested, right?
Right,
Why?
because I knew I would fail for alcohol,
Okay.
so that was,
And so you, what did you hope to accomplish by not testing, knowing that you had to test? What did you think was gonna happen?
well, I knew it was gonna happen,
But you did it anyway.
yeah.
Like when you went up to when you pulled into the convenience store, you knew you shouldn't have been doing that, but you did it anyway.
Yeah.
So when you talked last July about missing out on your son growing up, he's how old now?
16,
Okay. When you talked about that, and how you didn't want that to happen, but it happened anyway. And I think I probably informed you at that time that that was not that important to you because this kind of stuff was more important to you. And now, after 210 days in jail, 5 months in neocamp, you still prioritize you and your habits over your son. Right?
yeah, yes.
Why is that? After all that,
Because I have a disease of alcohol, I
Okay,
mean, I'm
so-
an alcoholic.
okay,
Yeah.
well, then what we should do is just let you go back to work and hope that you don't do it again. Or just send you to prison to finish out your time. And then you can do whatever you want. What does being an alcoholic have to do with it?
I don't know, I guess the temptation, I guess, whenever I feel
So there's nothing you can do about it.
you just get treatment, I mean,
Yeah, but the treatment doesn't work because
Yeah.
you're an alcoholic and there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it. So this is gonna be your life until you croak or what? Because you can't do anything about it? So you're content to go on like this, periodically come here until your time is up, either by prison or by probation, okay? And then just go on about your way, living your life the way you've been living it. Is that the plan?
no.
Because you're an alcoholic and you can't do anything about it?
No, I can't do something about it.
Then why don't you do something about it? Instead of whining about it. Why don't you do something about it instead of whining about it? Instead of leaning back and shaking your head and putting your head down and saying you're an alcoholic. And that's just the way it is. Do you ever think there's been an alcoholic that quit drinking and never drank again? You ever
Yeah.
think?
I know a lot of guys.
So how did that happen if they're an alcoholic?
Because they go to meetings and they do the right thing. They just,
A lot of people go to meetings and stare at the wall. A lot of people go to neocamp
well, because they want it,
and
sir.
stare at the wall
Yeah.
and don't get anything out of it. So going to treatment doesn't really mean anything.
Just
In and of
having
itself.
having a support group and having support.
I thought you had a support group. You had a sponsor who is also your employer. I thought you had a pretty close support group. But you didn't use it. Because you didn't want to use it. Why is your dad here again?
I don't know.
Does he support you?
Yeah.
Why didn't you utilize him? I should have just, you know what I should have done? I should have gotten the tape of last July 26th and just hit play and gone back and sat in there. Your priorities haven't changed in the last 9 months. So what am I doing here? What's the point? Tell me, what's the
I
point?
just need another chance. I mean,
There's that magic phrase, I need another chance. And the question,
really didn't think it was-
the immediate question in response to that phrase is another chance for what?
so I can do the right thing, so I can just fix this issue, fix this problem.
You've not given me any indication that you're interested in fixing this problem. Because 5 minutes ago you said, I'm an alcoholic.
No, I need more treatment. I need to go to a AA, a sober living.
What stopped you from doing that once you got out of NeoCat?
I guess I was just overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed, you know, I was working. I just didn't want to make anybody upset. I had a couple drinks because my nerves were shot, and
that cured the
You know.
nerve shot problem, right? That
It
solved
did.
that,
it
right?
did, yeah.
Okay, so maybe in order to treat your shot nerve problem, you should just chug a couple of monsters.
No, that wasn't my goal. I wasn't planning on doing it. I didn't want to do that. I don't want to do
Well,
that.
you did plan on doing it, because on your way home from work, you pulled into the convenience store and decided to go in and buy that and then go home and drink them. So you did plan on doing it. You act like you have no control over your life. That's how you act. That's how you see yourself. Right? Because you talk about, since you came back here 3 years ago, you've been incarcerated most of the time. Because of other people?
No.
Okay. So when is it you're going to take control over your life? When is that?
I guess as soon as I'm happy with my life, I guess.
Well, you know what? I got bad news for you. Because there's a lot of people that function on an everyday basis that aren't overly thrilled with their lives. But they go on anyway and make the best of it. So you're going to wait to take control of your life at some point when you get happy with your life? How are you going to get happy with your life? You're just like a cat chasing your tail, running around in circles. I don't know why. So I got the magic treatment hammer right here. Okay, that'll cure everything. That'll put you in the place you have to be. It's magic. I put you in a place for 5 months that was supposed to help you realize the primary function of that place is to get you to realize how screwed up your thinking is and to change it. And you spent that 5 months all that energy doing your best not to get kicked out of there because of what you perceived as the consequence. So now you want me to put you somewhere else where I assume your goal is to do your best not to get kicked out, to avoid the consequence. You're spending all your time and energy in a negative fashion for one purpose, to try to avoid prison. What a waste of time. How many days?
It is an overall total of 407 days covered.
407 days. Trying to avoid another penalty. And you've gotten exactly nowhere. So explain to me now why I'm supposed to put you back somewhere else that doesn't work?
I can't, I
You
can't.
can't. Well, I can enlighten you a little bit to the extent that I can penetrate your brain. None of this shit works unless you want it to work, and you don't want it to work. You like your old life rather than trying to carve out a new life.
No, I wouldn't say that. 'Cause
Well,
I
I
have
would.
nightmares about what I used to do and how I used to be every
Well,
night.
it's not so much of a nightmare that you're not willing to change what you used to do, meaning the heroin, I suppose, right?
Not just that, sir, it was a lot of stuff. It was not just the drugs, it
Well,
was,
that thought isn't overwhelming to you because you keep going back to the same
yeah,
process
I
and the
admit,
same
I had
habit.
to, yeah, I had to slip up, you know, I mean,
You didn't have a slip up, okay? Don't call it a slip up, okay? Because you went into NeoCap and spent the time at NeoCap not for the purpose that you were sent there to get something out of it. So it wasn't a slip up. It was a continuation of what you've been doing for a long time. It wasn't a slip up. That tells me that you have no concept here, still, what's going on and where you're at and how to get out of it if you want to get out of it. It's called a lack of insight. Where's your son today?
he's at school,
Where?
at Wycliffe High School.
What classes is he taking?
I'm not sure,
Why not?
because I haven't been there.
When's the last time you talked to him?
It was, it was on my birthday, the day I got, and the day I went to go to the probation office the last time, because I don't even want to call home, I'm so embarrassed. So, that was the last time I talked to him.
Do you know what grade he's in?
Yeah, he's in 10th grade.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Let me see you two. Sit down. What date was he discharged from NeoCat?
February 25th, Your Honor.
What were the discharge notes? What did the discharge notes say?
It states, it should be noted upon reaching the final phase of the level program, Mr. D'Angelo struggled to consistently meet program expectations. He often refused to accept responsibility or feedback and often blamed stereotypes about his culture for his aggressive responses and inappropriate comments. Rather than applying skills learned in group setting, he felt entitled to be given points and approvals for lack of intervention to his risky thinking.
Is that accurate?
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
So they all want me to send you to some place called Concord Pines. You aware of that? You aware that that's where what they want me to do with you?
Yes, sir. I think
What's Concord Pines?
it's a treatment center. It's a
Kind of treatment center.
it's a sober living. I believe.
You don't really know.
Not
How long you
even-
been in jail now?
A month and a half.
Okay. Did you talk to any of the other knuckleheads over there about Concord Pines? Anybody ever
I-
mention Concord Pines?
Yeah, they said in NeoCap. Yeah, because a lot of guys were going after NeoCap to going there.
Okay. So why would I do that if you don't really give a shit about any of this stuff? You just kind of bide your time until you can get out.
No, I do care. I mean, I do, sir. It's not. I mean,
No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't be here again. You don't care. Just saying you care doesn't mean you
no.
care.
I wish I could say it's that easy. I mean,
Who-
I have a problem with
who
alcohol.
said-
I've had
No
a problem.
kidding. Who said it was easy? Did I say it was easy?
No, I said.
You know what makes it like doubly hard? If you don't put any goddamn effort into it. That makes it impossible. Doesn't make it doubly hard, it makes it impossible if you refuse to put effort into it. And you don't put effort into it. You just agreed with what the discharge said with you. You didn't put effort into it. You didn't put effort in it when you got out, okay? Because the effort would have been, hey, Mr. Sponsor, I got this overwhelming desire to stop at Convenient and get a freaking monster drink that's got 6% alcohol. You didn't put any effort in it. You just went in and did it. No effort. Now magically, you're going to put effort into it? Is that what I'm to believe? Because you keep, 90 seconds ago you fell back on, well, I'm an alcoholic.
No, it wasn't. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. I've been an alcoholic. And I've been trying. I mean,
You haven't been trying. You haven't been trying. You've got a different definition of trying than I have. You spent 5 months in that place not trying and blaming other people for your tales of woe. You show me no evidence that you're ever going to change. What do you think? You've never been to prison, have you?
no.
What do you think it's like?
I have no idea. I don't know.
No idea.
I've never been there.
I know you've never been there. Do you have a perception of what you think it's like from talking to the other malcontents over there?
Yeah, I just know that it's not what I need. I mean, you probably, I mean, it wouldn't be a good thing because they,
You know, as a general rule,
I need is treatment.
I don't send people to prison for the type of crimes you committed, okay? Unless and until they demonstrate they have no interest in any of this other shit, okay? They have no interest in changing their lives. Sometimes I send people there for the express point of letting them see what it's like, and maybe shaking up their mind to figure out that ain't where I want to be, because there's a lot of bad people in here. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes, after people refuse to participate in their own lives, I just send them there to finish out their time.
I feel like that would, what I need, sir, is treatment. I need to go to, like, Concord Pines would be my, because in prison, I heard that, you know, you can get whatever,
You get all the drugs you want in prison.
yeah, and I don't think that would be the right thing for an addict, you know, so.
Now, there have been people that I've sent to prison that when I let them back out, they readily acknowledge there's as much, any drug they want at any time they can get. And there are some that just didn't partake in that, even though they could. You know why? You know why they would do that, take that action?
Well, because they have,
Because they didn't want to.
right, yeah, that's,
How long has he been in on this stint, Nicole?
45 days, Your Honor.
45 days. What's 45 days amongst 407, right? It's like a walk in the park, right?
no,
No?
because I just want to get home as soon as possible. I'm tired I'm tired of being here. Like I said, like, you know, I haven't even called my son because it's, you know,
Well, because he's more
I'm just
responsible than you?
pretty, yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
is.
just embarrassing, that's all. It's just enough is enough. I have no more excuses, I mean, it's just,
Well, you didn't have any more excuses last time either, right? Isn't that what you said?
yeah.
So how far did you make it on your mental health evaluation?
I made it through the interview, and then I walked out after that.
Yeah, that's when you wouldn't take the test, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna keep you on community control, because I'm stupid like that.
I appreciate it, sir.
50 days in the jail, credit for 45. On Monday, you're going to Concord Pines. Complete that program, follow all the recommendations. No drugs or alcohol. He didn't do decision points, right? Because he went to NeoCap?
He did, Your Honor.
He did. How'd that work out?
I guess, not good, sir.
Not good. Okay, and all the other things I told you to do that you haven't yet done, you're going to do. Or not going to do, such as it is, okay? Now, at this point, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say your dad cares if you do these things. Your son cares if you do these things. That I know for sure. Doesn't matter to me if you do these things or not. I have no control over it. I'm not sure you care if you do these things or not. So, either do them or you don't. If you don't, we'll go through a repeat performance. Now, you may want to do a little bit more than stare at the wall while you're at Concord Pines. You may want to do a little bit more and be honest when you go to Signature Health, but do whatever you want. You want to continue to screw around, I'll be here and we'll talk again. Ms. Randazzo, anything else? Now, wait a minute, you guys are transporting him to Concord Pines.
Correct, Your Honor.
Because I don't want you stopping off and getting a freaking monster drink on your way there. Anything else, Ms. Randazzo?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Watson?
Nothing further, Your Honor.